Hello and welcome to Cars at 100, and on today's review I have a 2020 Volkswagen Tiguan SE 4MOTION. We're gonna look at this car from the outside, go inside and check out some of the features of this car in the interior. So let's not waste any more time and let's jump into it. Okay, let's check out this car from the outside first. As you can see, this front is a very conservative look for this small SUV by Volkswagen. It has been updated recently in a couple of years for 19 and 2020. As you can see, the design has changed. It is more boxier right now. Overall, the design of the front headlights is pretty straightforward, and you have nice grille here. It's a distinctive look for this car on the road because this car looks more professional in terms of the conservative design, I guess, aspect of it. And overall, you don't have fog lights here. You have no daytime running lights as well, except I think these would be the daytime running lights. Leave a comment down below, and I think this is a turn signal as well as the lights up there. And we have this very interesting Volkswagen logo, which is not 3D light. I guess that's because of the adaptive cruise control that this car has. And overall, if you go around, especially this hood really looks unique in terms of the design, and I think it looks kind of a conservative overall in terms of the strict lines. German design is really noticeable here. As we go into the wheel section here, these are, if you're curious, these are 215/65 are 17-inch rims. So these are 17-inch rims wrapped in a 65 with rubber. So 65 will give you a very nice utility feel, overall comfort on the road, and somewhat very good off-roading abilities. I will show you some of the features in the interior where you can switch into different modes for the off-road aspect for this car, which is very important to note. As we go around, we have this side mirrors that are mounted on the side of the door, on the bottom section of the door, not on the side, kind of a just because of, I guess, blind spot in this area for having the A-pillar so thick. Turn signals on the side mirrors, and we have a keyless entry, keyless go, of course, which I will show you in a little bit. As we go around, we have this chrome trim here, kind of a conservative feel once again. Overall, you have a lot of trim options here and there, and these look very professional and very serious in terms of the design for this car. And if you want to stand out and kind of like a business, businessman who's using the car overall, as a utilitarian small SUV, this would be, I guess, your option. We have a Tiguan badges here, SE, and we have a 4MOTION badges implying that this car has four-wheel drive. And we have nice lights here in the back. These are full LED rear lights, and we have a nice design to them overall. We have 2 4 exhausts which are not even connected to the pipes, so the pipes are on the bottom. This is somewhat the Audi feature in terms of the design, because Audi and Volkswagen are the same thing, and that would make sense. And we have this very strict design overall in terms of the how it's been sculpted, this car, in terms of the strict lines. But it looks original, it looks different, it looks very different compared to the Japanese automakers on the road. This design is more of a, I would say, German design, and it really feels this way. And it's very appropriate for this car to have the strict lines compared to Japanese design. For example, NX that this car competes with has a different approach to lines. They are more fluid lines. These are strict lines. So if we go around overall in terms of the dimensions of this car, you can see that this car is not a small SUV, but at the same time it is a compact SUV. It's considered to be Volkswagen's compact SUV, and if you compare it to Grand Cherokee right here, you would see the size is almost the same. Grand Cherokee is a little bit higher, but overall I would say that they are same size in terms of the dimensions, as you can see here. So it is a little bit bigger Grand Cherokee, of course, but still this is close in terms of the dimensions of the size overall. In order to enter this Tiguan by Volkswagen, we have this key fob here. As you can see, this key fob with the switchblade has been with Volkswagen for decades now, and it's a really unique way to present the key compared to the other automakers. I think Audis are still doing the same thing. Once again, Audis and Volkswagens are the same thing. And we have a lock, unlock, and trunk release button here, as well as the panic. And this car, as an option, includes a remote start, but very interestingly and weirdly, it is on a separate key. So I guess you would have to carry two keys, or you know, I guess you would keep this key fob in your house at home, but if you go somewhere you want a remote start, you have to have this key fob with you. But you can keep both of these key fobs in your pocket, and you can lock the car by the edge here, and you can unlock the car by the door opener handle sensor behind it. And just like this, we will enter this Tiguan. And as you can see here, we have a mostly soft touch materials, but we have this utilitarian plastic throughout the car, implying that this is overall a very, very usable everyday SUV. And you have an automatic up and down for all four sides in terms of the convenience for the windows. And we have heated side mirrors as well, not folding, just heated, and you can control them, of course, through this dial. Overall, you have the sturdy feel in terms of all the features in the car. Kind of remind you of the Audi brand, because they are same brand. And you have a felt lined inside of the opposite section for this storage here, for the book and for the big bottle. So this is a big storage for this Tiguan's door cards. Overall, you have the regular sound system here, and this is a big roomy entrance into this car. As you can see, this is pretty large in terms of the, you know, just the convenience of getting into the car and exiting this car. All weather floor mats, as you can see here, nicely integrated into the design, and you have regular looking pedals. Overall, this is not fully loaded R-Spec Tiguan. You can get much more options for this Tiguan if you go for the upper trims of this car. But overall, you have a automatic automatic seating controls, rather, I mean, for this seat here, and it is overall has some, you know, luxury features with it. And you have some bolstering here. These are leatherette seats. You have a top bolstering, bottom bolstering, implying kind of a sporty, I guess, feel to it. But this is not really a sporty SUV. It doesn't have that many credentials to be the most important credentials in terms of the engine and suspension aspects. If we jump inside, first impression that I get, these seats are very nice. They're very comfortable, usable in terms of the feel, and everyday use. I think they would be comfortable. If we close the door, not surprised there. Very, very solid feel on these door closes. And you know, Volkswagen has been doing this German Toyota thing for a while, and as we know, Toyotas are one of the most reliable cars in the world, and these Volkswagen cars that are coming out lately are also very reliable. Kind of a half luxury, half reliable kind of a feel to it. If you want to have more luxury, of course you can go to a bigger brand in terms of the Volkswagen group, to Audi, and they will give you much more options in terms of the luxury. But if we start the car, so if we put the foot on the brake and start the car just like this, you will see this is new infotainment screen. It is larger than before, and it looks more responsive in terms of the inputs. I would say it's a nice addition for this year, for this Tiguan. And if you're looking for a bigger screen, this car has it. You can have also Fender sound system for this car, which is a little bit better than the base sound system that this car comes with. You have a climate control options here. As you can see, the very, very Volkswagen-like climate control options that go around all the models in the lineup for the Tiguan and Golf and other cars, so they all have mostly the same looking climate control options. You have automatic transmission here, and you have a sport mode here as well, so we can go into sport mode, and just like this we can go into manual mode. So if we go to drive, if we press down, we are in a sport mode. So press down again, we are in drive. So just like this we can go into different modes. Also have an automatic parking brake here as well. And most importantly, for the off-road credentials for this car, you have the modes here. You have the snow mode, you have the normal mode, you have the off-road mode, and you have off-road custom. So you can adjust off-road custom, you can adjust many off-road abilities for this car. As you can see, the off-road abilities for this car are more comprehensive than the regular standard abilities for like custom rather than custom off-road. So custom off-road, if you want to off-road kind of features for this car, this is the options for you. You have these regular looking analog dials, but they're really nice in terms of the way these are, and they were designed very clear, very interesting way, the way they are presented. You have the middle display there that you can manipulate through this menu on the steering wheel. And speaking of the steering wheel, you get the flat bottom steering wheel, you get 10 and 2, even though this is not a really sporty SUV, but you get those sporty credentials here and there. You get the steering wheel that looks sporty and seats that feel sporty. The options here for the lights as well, you have automatic lights as well for this car, and it's a welcoming feature as well. You have some pocket here which is rubber lined, and you have the frameless rear mirror. You don't have sunroof here. You have two-tone interior, as you can see. You have an upper section which is white and bottom section which is darker color, and you have here options for the CD in as well, and you have the SD card in as well in the glove box, as well as the very roomy glove box. So very utilitarian feel for this SUV. You have two cup holders here, and you have some options for the storage here, as well as the middle storage here, which is quite deep. I wanted to also show you two extra USB options in for accessing your media. You have a wireless charger here. You can also connect the media through Bluetooth and just drop your phone here and it will charge, and as well as give you the infotainment, you know, media options. And you have a 12-volt power outlet here as well. Let's check out the back seats. To enter the back seats, you don't have a keyless entry. For the back seats, you just open them through the key fob, and just like this you will enter them. And you have the soft touch materials here, and this is hard plastic compared to the front doors, which is soft touch material. You have some pockets here for some, I guess, some storage, and very roomy feel in terms of the back seats. This seat is almost all the way back, and you have plenty of legroom here. As you can see, this is a very roomy car. I want you to get this understanding that this is a very roomy car. You have 12-volt power outlet here. You have USB Type A for charging. Have two vents here, and overall, if I show you my headroom as well, plenty of headroom as well. I'm 6 feet tall, and in terms of the you know, safety, I mean, in terms of the luxury feel here, you have two cup holder sections here, which is very soft. Very interesting how the bottom section of these cup holders are soft. You have, I guess, a very small section for the energy drink here. And overall, I would say very roomy for the back seats of this small SUV. Let's check out the trunk space. If we click the button right under the Volkswagen logo, which as you can see is not automatic trunk release, we will enter this very roomy, very large trunk. As you can see, you can also drop down these seats and have even more room by these latches, very conveniently located on each side. You also have storage under the floor, somewhat some storage, a little bit, I guess, you know, very small. Overall, you have a spare tire here, so this car does not come with run flats. You have the spare tire under the floor of the trunk, and there's a lot of room in this trunk. hope you enjoyed today's review of this 2020 Volkswagen Tiguan SE 4MOTION. If you have any questions, please leave a comment, and I'll see you next time. Stay loving cars.